A very good evening, dear viewers and listeners of Bwiza TV and Bwiza.com. It's 3rd January 2024. I bring you news in English. My name is Judith Watsinda, and quickly let me take you through the headlines. RNC wishes to work with Felix Tshisekedi as a guide to establish democracy in Uganda. From Uganda, gunmen open fire at Pastor Aloysius Kugirango, kills his bodyguard. US removes Uganda from AGOA trade deal. News from the US, Trump challenges his arbitrary removal from Myanmar's board. Quickly, let me take you through the details. Rwandans want to live in a democratic society like Congolese brothers. To achieve this, the Rwandan National Congress, RNC, an opposition party in exile, is seeking the support of President of DRC, Felix Tshisekedi. In Rwanda, Paul KAGAME is accused of not tolerating any dissent, even within his party, RPF, Rwanda Patriotic Front. According to his opponents, he uses all means to silence dissenting voices. Praising the Congolese democratic vitality, the RNC affirmed that it wishes to work with Felix Tshisekedi as a guide to also establish democracy in Rwanda, while congratulating him on the re-election at the head of the DRC. The Rwandan National Congress, the Rwandan opposition party in exile, of which I'm the coordinator, ardently hopes that democracy that the whole world has seen at work in your country through the recent elections will be established in Rwanda. The Rwandan National Congress wishes to work with you as a guide in this perspective. As you begin your second term, fully invested with trust of all Congolese people, I would like to assure you and the Congolese people of the friendship and sympathy of the Rwandan National Congress and the Rwandan people, today the oppressed, declared Emmanuel Hakizimana, the coordinator of the RNC, from his exile in Montreal, Canada. At the same time, the RNC congratulated the Congolese people for their massive and peaceful participation in the exercise of their constitutional right. Paul KAGAME is seen as a despot, according to the opponent, Paul Rusesabagina. Rwandans are prisoners in their own country. From Uganda, gunmen killed a bodyguard in a shooting believed to target a controversial Kampala city pastor, authorities have said. According to police, the undisclosed number of unidentified assailants were on a motorcycle when they opened fire on Pastor Aloysius Kugirango's vehicle in a night attack that left the driver, Richard Muhumuza, dead. The incident along Namungona Zone 2 Kasobi Rubaga Division at Bulawataka Junction along National Housing Road in Kampala is the latest in the similar fashioned assaults aimed at high-profile figures in Uganda's capital. At approximately 9 p.m. on January 2nd, unidentified assailants opened fire on Pastor Kugirango's vehicle before swiftly escaping the scene on the motorcycle, police said in the statement on Wednesday. Despite sustaining injuries during the attack, Pastor Kugirango managed to transport the vehicle to Mulago Hospital. Regrettably, Muhumuza succumbed to the assailants and was confirmed dead upon the arrival at the hospital, police informed. Police observed that the crime scene had been tampered, announcing that a comprehensive investigation into a tragic incident is underway. In our pursuit of justice, we are thoroughly reviewing CCTV footage to identify the assailants, Kampala Metropolitan Deputy of police spokesperson Luke Orosigiri emphasized. Uganda now has to find alternative to plug the gap of nearly 40 billion export revenue after US President Joe Biden terminated the East African country from the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. In October 2023, Biden issued a notice of intention to remove Uganda from the AGOA to the Speaker of the Senate, citing human rights violations. A December 2023 communication from the Office of Trade Respective confirmed the determination that Uganda locks Ugandan-made products out of the preferential treatment on the US market. I have determined the Central African Republic, Gabon, Niger, Uganda do not meet requirements prescribed in Section 506A, Act 1, Trade Act. According, I have decided to terminate the designation of Central African Republic, Gabon, Niger, and Uganda as beneficiary sub-Saharan African countries for purposes of Section 506A of a Trade Act effective of 1st January 2024, the statement reads. AGOA, a U.S. Trade Preference Act, was enacted on 8/18/2000 and provides a duty-free access of over 6,000 products from beneficiary countries to the U.S. market. Uganda's exports to the U.S. grew from 4 billion in 2019 to 39 billion in 2022 revenue that is now lost. Major exports include textiles and agricultural products. In November, the Trade Ministry Permanent Secretary Gradien Sadi told Monitor that the negatives includes loss of jobs in labor-intensive industries like textile would be registered, but remained confident that Uganda would make up for the loss by tapping into other markets. The termination from AGOA follows a number of other sanctions, including travel sanctions against the top officials and threats of aid cuts slapped against Uganda after the adoption of Anti-Homosexuality Act in 2023. The US labeled the law retrogressive, but in his Christmas message to Uganda, President Museveni remained bullish despite the growing tension with the key Western allies. The pressure we are getting from outside about the homosexuality law, some of the people may be worried, but I'm not worried at all, because this is an opportunity to clarify one point that Uganda can stand on its own, and some of us are indigenous people of this area. This is our area for the last 1,000 years. We have been active here. The European came for a short period and went. Our communities are very strong, he said. He added, I'm confident that we shall manage, and you can see our economy is growing. Our inflation is now one of the lowest now, and I would advise those putting us under pressure to stop, because it's not good for them. We shall prove our point that African countries can stand on their own. From the US, Donald Trump has appealed against the decision by Miami's top election official to remove him from the ballot in 2024 presidential elections. Mr. Trump, the current Republican front-runner, asked the state court to overturn the move by Miami Secretary of the State, Sean Bellows. Ms. Bellows has previously defended her decision by saying she has sacred obligation to uphold the law. The former U.S. president has also been removed from the ballot in Colorado. Mr. Trump was removed from Miami and Colorado ballots by challenges cited the U.S. Constitution's Insurrection Clause and alleged the incitement of 2021 U.S. Capitol riot. The 14th Amendment of the US Constitution bans anyone who has engaged in insurrection or rebellion from holding a federal office. In Monday's court filing regarding the Miani decision, Mr. Trump's attorneys write that Ms. Pelosi, a Democrat, was a biased decision maker without a legal authority to remove him from the ballot. Additionally, the filing accuses Mrs. Bello of making multiple errors of law and acting in an arbitrary manner. President Trump will illegally excluded from the ballot as a result of Secretary's actions by filing, says Mrs. Bello, a former state senator and executive director of Miani's American Civil Liberties Union, was elected to serve as Miani's Secretary of State in December 2020. A group of current and former state lawmakers challenged Mr. Trump's place on ballot, which Miani law required Mrs. Bello to rule on. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to take up the issue raised in Miami and Colorado, which will not take effect until legal challenges are settled. A ruling by law on Mr. Trump's eligibility would be applied nationwide. Thank you so much for watching and listening, Bwiza TV and Bwiza.com. I wish you a happy 2024. I'm Judith Matsinda. I sign out. Good night.